So today I'm going to take apart a Nintendo Switch. I actually took it apart before, and during that time, I completely stripped like 30% of the screws. If you've ever taken a Nintendo Switch apart, then you already know that the screws that come with the Switch really soft. And I don't care how expensive of a screwdriver you have, you pretty much just have to be lucky. Either that or I just suck real bad at using, screwdrivers. Either way, I'm going to go ahead and use the same screwdrivers that I got from a Nintendo Switch repair kit. There's the quality is definitely not that great, but even with a good one, you're still going to have some issues when it comes to the Nintendo Switch screws. In fact, they actually sell screw kits for the Nintendo Switch. So they actually sell on Amazon screw kits that you can purchase because most people damage screws when with the Switch. You could buy them as they come with the proprietary tri-wing screw heads, and they're mixed and matched. Some are Phillips head, some are tri-wing. It's just really annoying that there's two different kinds, and then there's two different sizes or four different sizes. It's, So the new screw set that I have, actually, they're all Phillips head, which is what Nintendo should have done. So at least they're all Phillips head. So I'm not going to sit there because at some point I got so frustrated that I couldn't tell anymore if it was a tri-wing head or a Phillips screw head. I was just banging in there, turning it, and until it popped up. At some point, I actually had to get a screwdriver. At some point, I had to get a drill with a drill bit to like chop one of them off. It was a nightmare. But as long as I get it back together and it works, it's fine. Which it did work. I was able to fix whatever it was I was fixing at the time. It was the rails. So the rails of the Nintendo Switch, from time to time, especially if they've taken a beating, they break. Now they won't look broken. They won't look broken, but what's going to happen is you can just touch this and it slides off. You just tap it, slides off. You're supposed to be able to have to press this button here, and then it slides. So when it starts sliding without you pressing the button, it's a problem. And the only way to fix that is not to replace the Joy-Cons, because there's tons of YouTube videos. Replace the Joy-Cons. It's not the Joy-Cons. In that case, it is the rails. So I replaced the rails, and that fixed that problem. But I screwed something up with the SD card, and the SD card reader now is giving me some kind of errors. It says things like SD card not detected. And even though the SD card is in there, so it would cause you to reboot and in hopes that it would fix it. So it was working for my son on and off. And then finally he said he had dropped it, and now it just doesn't detect it. It's a brand new SD card, so make sure your SD card is not the problem. And so here I am, and I'm going to open up the Switch. And like I said, some of the screws, they're just never going to go back in place. And you know what? If your Nintendo Switch is already out of warranty, and if you're planning on opening up and fixing yourself, then who cares about the warranty? And as long as you get to fix it and it works, that's what matters. So, like I said, this will be my second time opening this up, but at least this time I have backup screws if I just can't get the screw in. And I'm going to use this, like I said, I'm going to use the same cheap screwdrivers, which is part of the problem. But at the end of the day, I just need it to work. That's it. It doesn't have to be a pretty job. Okay, so there's that. So there it is. Just a regular, this is like the 2017 edition. I have the V2, which was the last console they made before the OLED. So there's been three versions of the Switch so far. All of them low res, 1080p, 720. So we're still waiting for the Switch Pro, but that's another discussion for another time and possibly another video. I have no music in the background. Usually I have music in the background when I chit chat and stream with you guys. But this is going to just be me taking apart the Switch without any music in the background, because I might either re-record this part afterwards and just use the footage of me actually opening the Switch. And I don't want to have music in the background of the stream in case I turn this into a video later on. Then I can just put my own music in the background after I've chopped up and edited everything. So that's why there's not going to be any music in the background. Plus, most of my streams, I'll be lucky if I have one person, two people. The majority of my small community, they have jobs now, they work, they're just busy, you know, everyone's doing their own thing. So I'm going to continue to do what I do in hopes to, you know, kind of meet some new people out there that enjoy my game streams, as well as the other type of videos that I upload twice a year if I'm lucky. But again, this is not my full-time gig. I have a regular job, and you guys know I have kids and stuff, but you know, I like messing around with these things, so I might as well record this stuff or stream it. So that is the background blabber. And I do have an iPhone that I'm going to record my desk. So let's see here. So I'm going to go ahead and open this. I have the screw set and I have the actual SD card reader. So again, let's bring this back again. Today we're going to replace a Nintendo SD card reader, Nintendo Switch. And you're going to know when you have an SD card reader problem when it's telling you that it can't read the SD card. It's not detecting SD card. You restart the Nintendo Switch and it still has issues. Okay, so when that happens, it's probably time to replace your SD card reader. So in this video, I'm going to take a Nintendo Switch apart and replace the SD card reader and then test it out and see if it works. So let's get to it. All right. And that's the part that I'll cut out, and I'll probably just use that part, and the whole beginning part you won't see then the actual video, if I even make the video, because you guys know I'm lazy. I'm also noticing that my camera's wobbling. I have it on a mic stand, so that way when the desk wobbles, the main camera doesn't shake, but I could see a little bit of wobble. When that happens, it's probably because there's some cables. Hold on a second. Ooh-wee. Let's see what's down there. All right, anyways. A little wobble doesn't hurt anybody. Some people like wobbles. So there it is. I'll try not to bang the desk too hard. Good times. I'm also going to grab my screwdrivers over here in a second. So, all right, let's get to it. Let me switch to this camera, which again, this is the iPhone 13 Pro Max using Epoch Cam as a top-down view because I'm too lazy to hook up an actual camera up there. All right, so I know I have a mess, but bear with me. There's that. Where did that go? Here. Okay, so this is the SD card reader, and this is the screws. Wow, that's little screws. And I don't have a knife. That's what I have to add to my kit, because I see that this thing's all taped up. Oh, that sucks. So let's just try to see how far we can get with the regular screws that are built in here. This wire is my headphones so I can hear myself talk. So yeah, let's get to it. I'm gonna need a screwdriver. Let me grab that. Hey, what's up, Ava? Welcome. So yeah, I don't have any background music because I intend to possibly turn this into a video later on. But yeah, thanks for joining. I figured nobody would join, so thanks for joining. But and if I make this video, if I eventually turn this to a video, then I will then add music to the background. But at least this way I won't have like, as I cut and edit, I won't have like song pieces changing. So that's kind of why it's dead air. So there's gonna be a lot of dead air. So now that we get that out of the way, last time I opened this Nintendo Switch, guys, it drove me insane. I struggled, and I even purchased this actual Nintendo these screws, the screwdriver kit, and it's cheap actually. Like you're better off buying like a professional set, because it destroyed the screws and they're all stripped, and it's going to be really hard for me to take them off. It's going to be very difficult to remove them again. I barely got them back in last time. So, as I mentioned at the start of the stream, I have extra screws that I purchased on Amazon that are meant to fit all the little holes in the Nintendo Switch. Okay, so this is my backup plan right here. This is the SD card reader right here. This is $6, and I'll put links in the descriptions for anyone that's, you know, replacing the Nintendo Switch SD card reader. And I'll also put the backup screws on there as well. Okay, so we have that. Yeah, I haven't played Apex in a while, but I will. I definitely will. Not sure about this week because I still barely have gotten a chance to play Modern Warfare. So I definitely want to play a lot more Modern Warfare before I get back to the typical Apex streams, but I will. By the way, see how I swipe that? That's a mute button. Like it's like a, so you don't hear dead air or the air conditioning blowing into the microphone. If I'm not talking, I can just go like this. And now you can hear me talk again. So it's just easier than pressing, because then you hear like the tuk tuk, you could hear like the sound of something being pressed. So this is so nice. Yeah, so that's the Wave XLR. It's kind of dark. I probably should have got a better light. Should have been better prepared for this. It's okay. We will do our best. Okay, these are the two tri-head screwdrivers. And this is the actual Phillips head. Okay. And I have other ones that are probably better quality that I might switch to. So we shall see. For now, we'll just try to get going with this thing. And I forget which ones were the tri-screws and which ones were the regular ones. And also, they're difficult to see, especially if you've already tried doing this once before. That looks like the tri. That looks like the tri. Cool. So we're going to start with the tri-head. Now, I don't know which size is which, and there's no guide. That's the sad part, is they don't say, they'll sell you this kit, but won't tell you which screws go for which size. If you're an expert, then sure, you're an expert, but most people doing this are probably not going to be an expert. You know what? Let me take off, first and foremost, let's just take off the controllers, the Joy-Cons. Joy-Cons are that gone. Okay. That sucker's gone. I'll never be able to put that back in its place. Yeah. Oh boy, what did I get myself into? I just can't tell what is what. Thank God I got new screws. Oh boy, this is going to be rough. Okay, let me try this one. You're going to see my head stick in here. Yeah, there's the, let's try the little guy. Ah, the little guy. Okay. Is that coming out? Not quite. All right, so that's good to know. So the exterior ones I'll put right there. Definitely wish I had more light. There's another one. Okay, there's another one. There's always one, right? There's always one that gives you trouble. But I guarantee you there's going to be a lot more than just one giving me trouble here today. Oh, snap. Wait, it's on. Let's turn that off. Actually, I think I'm going to show you guys exactly what happens. Let's do that first. Okay. So, this is the message. that you see. Let me switch. This is the message that you see when I could use that for a B-roll shot. Right there. This way. That's what we're fixing today. Right there. Hold the power button in the top left corner, choose power options, and turn off. Okay. So back to the one that's giving us lots of problems. And it's totally messed up. I mean, it's... Strip to... There you go. Strip to Kingdom Come. Okay, so there is 4 of them. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 that have been taken out using one of the tri-head screwdrivers. And then this one as well. There's one right here, one right here. Okay, right next to the USB-C port, there's 2 little guys. I'm going to use the same smaller tri-head. And this one is kind of just sitting there. The other side broke. The plastic piece that actually grips to it is broken. So I don't even know if this will come out. I don't know. I mean, it's... I'll have to see what's up with that thing. Like I said, I don't know. Looks like there was one here at some point as well. And that one's gone. Gonna take the SD card reader out. Take the SD card out. Place that somewhere. And it looks like there was a screw there as well. That one's gone. I'll be surprised if that's the reason why my SD card is not working. But just to be sure. And it could just be disconnected from the motherboard. So I might not have to replace it. But because I'm doing all this, I might as well replace it. It's only a $6 piece. That's what happens when things just simply stop working. And when screws get stripped. Yeah, that's crazy. This thing won't. This guy still won't come out. Okay, now we're going to switch over to the Phillips head. And this is the Phillips head. And that's what we're going to use to take these out. Unfortunately, I actually thought that at some point I thought that this, I forgot what was what. So this, we're just going to take the middle screw out. We don't need to take any of the other screws out of these rails, just the middle one. Okay. So we're going to do rail on the left side. And we'll do rail on the right side. Okay. Stream is lagging very, very hard. And it's because every time I use this device, it's using a lot of Wi-Fi to connect. So I'm going to be replacing this camera up here with an actual camera. I'm not going to use the Epoch Cam Wi-Fi connection to stream that. It's just too much. Yeah, it's definitely that. Okay, now that we have that sorted, now that we have the screws out, and as you see, it wasn't that many. This gets popped off. Okay. And that is right there is the problem. This chip right there. And it's a little Phillips head screw. It's a little Phillips head. So let's see if this is what's causing the issue. Now to replace the rails, I did have to remove this plate. Luckily, I don't think I have to do that. So some of these screws were just damaged beyond belief. Like this one here, I had to like use a drill, an electric drill. I had to use an electric drill to take that out. So, I mean, a screw that will never be screwed in. Same thing with this one over here. There's just, that's never gonna. I had to sacrifice that. So let's see if we can fix it. Let's first see if we can fix it just by seeing if this got disconnected. If not, we're going to replace this with a new one. So let's see. Okay, so here's what I did. I heard it snap in place. Once you lift this up, this little black piece here, you lift that up, and you could use a pair of tweezers, okay? And that lifts off the motherboard as a little socket. When you hear it, and when you place it back, snap it back in to make sure when you hear it snap, what we're going to do is we're going to try this again. Okay, just like that, to see if maybe it just popped out of place. So we're going to put the SD card back in. Okay, it's back in. And now I'm going to turn it back on. And we're going to see if it continues to not be able to read the disk. Yes, it's unable to access the disk. So that's not good. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and replace it now. Power options, turn off. Okay, it's off. The SD card is definitely not working. Okay, so we're going to take the SD card reader is definitely not working. So we're going to take the card out. Put that over there. And so now we're going to move to the next thing, which is, so we tested that it wasn't a loose connection. And this is a very small Phillips head. It's not a tri-head. So here we go. Okay, there's that. And we're going to put this little guy right there so we can see him later. We're going to lift this off. And there it is. So at this point, we're just hoping that the motherboard is not damaged, that port is not damaged, and that it's just a matter of replacing this thing. Okay. So let's see. Like I said, I'm not going to use the extra screws yet, but I have a full screw set there. I will save that for a rainy day. But let's go ahead and open up the replacement. Hopefully it's the right one. Go. Let's match it up. Yeah, looks pretty good. So I can already tell by looking at this old one that the teeth here are a little bit loose. It looks like I tried to like force it in there. I kind of slid it in here incorrectly, and some of the teeth on here were damaged. Can't really tell from this view. But when you compare this one, the teeth are much better shape. Okay. Okay. Now, this one is a little bit bent. I could see it bent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off this black layer, this black little foamy piece. Sticky pad. And I'm going to try to stick that here. And this is just to protect it, to give it some cushion. But at the same time, I think I'm going to wait because it was on there last time, it was hard to know exactly where this thing landed. And if you don't see where this is falling in perfectly to snap it in there, then I could end up bending the teeth again. So again, this is my first like top-down video, so it's definitely a little rough. My lighting is off, and you know that I can't zoom in and out on this camera. It's a cheap iPhone. Well, not cheap iPhone, but you know what I mean. So let's see if it. Okay, got it in there. Didn't snap, but it's definitely seated in there. See, it's not coming out. It's definitely seated in there. So feel pretty comfortable. It's got a nice little cutout there around the sides of it where I can see that it went in. You see the little plastic piece in there? There's like it is a cutout perfectly around the shape of the metal cutout above it. So I feel pretty confident that it is seated in there. Okay. So if I try to just take it out, it won't come out that easy. So I feel like it's perfectly in there. I don't want to wiggle, press too hard or anything like that. I could possibly test it out even while this is dangling, but just to be safe, just to be sure, I'm going to lay this back in there in its home. Yikes. That's never good. Oh, it popped out. Okay, we're going to edit that out. So just by missing the screw hole, it was enough to just pop it out. So that's not good. Okay, it's in there now. Again. Like it shouldn't fall out that easy, that's for sure. All right. Kind of hold the SD card reader with your finger while you screw it in. Don't over tighten because that could be an issue too. And it's in there. It's absolutely in there. Okay. It's in there. I'm going to put the sticky surface thing back on it to give it some cushion. And that's probably to keep it. So that's probably to keep it from getting loose in case if it drops, it absorbs it so it doesn't pop back out. So that's what serves that purpose. That black sticky foam piece. Okay. Probably the most boring stream I've ever done, so it's good that nobody's here. Now, I'm going to pop the case back on. And just put it from the top and just snap it so you hear it pop all around. Okay. Now, I don't know why I did that because I wanted to test it first. So let's go ahead and just. Now, if this doesn't work, I am SOL. So let's go ahead and let's give this a test run. Let's go ahead and take the SD card reader. Slide it back in. Okay, it's in there. Okay, so before we button it all up, let's see what happens. Okay. I learned my lesson during this stream as well. I noticed one thing. This camera is lagging really bad. So I can't depend on this on making any type of videos or much. So the connection drops in and out really bad. And I think it's just sucking all of the Wi-Fi right out of sucking all the bandwidth out. And just to be able to run that camera, it's connected to the computer using Wi-Fi. So there's a lot of Wi-Fi, a lot of bandwidth being sucked up between this camera and OBS. So I'm going to have to just find a different option, which I have already. I just have to not be lazy and actually connect something real. So the Epoch Cam thing, sure, it's okay here and there, but if the original plan was to just convert this stream and cut it up into a short video, it might not work. So I don't know when I go back and rewatch this. So hopefully I'll be able to make some use of this stream here. But if you're just joining, what's up, Brett? If you're just joining, what we did so far was we took the screws out of the switch, just the case. We left the metal plate and we just swapped out the broken SD card reader. In the beginning of the video, you'll see the error that we were getting. So if anyone out there is having this issue, it is so easy to just replace your SD card reader. If you're getting the famous SD card cannot be read error, then it could be this. Now, I know I damaged this when I was replacing the rails. These rails, and I have to remove a whole bunch of stuff. but I had to remove the rails in order to fix the Switch controllers from sliding out without you actually pressing the button to get them out. So I did that off camera a couple months ago, but somehow I injured the SD card reader. It started progressively getting worse and worse and worse. So now, and I think I know why I did that. I know how I screwed it up, but at least now we know how to fix it. So I am so happy that now my son can now play his Nintendo Switch again. The games are actually, you know, it's reading, it's detecting it. It's awesome. So let's see. Ready to start the system update? Ooh, there's a system update. The update will not take long. Start software update. So I'm actually not going to update it right now. I'm going to push it. I'm going to button it up because I'm already using so much bandwidth. Just running Epoch Cam alone is making my stream stutter and all that. So, but I'm happy that we fixed this, and I actually fixed it a lot faster than I thought I would. So I might even have. Let me see, what time is it? Might have time to play a couple rounds or something. Well, I kind of went to bed late last night, so we'll see. I might do a couple rounds. So there it is. I bought extra screw set for the Nintendo Switch because the last time I opened it, I stripped 90% of these things were stripped. It's very confusing on the three different size screwdrivers that you need. One's a Phillips head, one's a tri-wing head, which is like a, you know, kind of like a Nintendo prior to what do you call it? It's like a Nintendo. All of their old consoles always have these you got to get these little it's not Phillips. And then they're so small that they start looking like each other. And then you start using the wrong one. You start stripping them. It's a nightmare. So luckily I didn't have to yell or curse on the stream. But as a backup, if you're going to open this thing, for sure, get some backup Nintendo screws just in case. And that's basically it. So I will button this back up, and then I'll sign off. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. Hey, Brett, have a great one, man. Let me see. Brett also left a message. Let me see what it says. Epoch Cam issues. Yes, and also Epoch Cam has some issues, but it works. Yes, it works. One thing I know people want to update is when you use your mic. Oh yeah, I wouldn't use the audio on it. Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, I just feel like it used to work much better. I don't know why it's this bad, but hopefully they'll fix that. It might be a Mac OS thing too, so we shall see. But yeah. Oh, I love the Wave XLR, man. You're going to love it. Yeah, sell the Rodecaster, make some money back for sure. Have a great night, man. Okay, so now this is trash. We can throw the old one away. Before I lose my screws, let me make, there they are. Yep, there they are. So we're going to put these screws right back. And again, I think we just used, we'll start with the rails, the middle one. So if I taught you guys something, at least you know that when doing this fix, you don't need to remove the rails, all the screws, just the one in the middle. And that could be the only takeaway. Okay, so let's get in here. Perfect. A little short one there. All these magnetic screws are great. And that's why I have no music in the background today, because I'm planning on chopping this up. And I didn't want to have like double music in the background. So I will add another song back there. And this might be either a YouTube short or just a little 2-minute video. So that's not too bad. Okay. Update. Okay, so that's in there. Perfect. There was some sort of system update, so that's great. Adam is going to be super happy that I fixed his Nintendo after breaking it, because I know I'm the one that broke it. Let's go ahead and leave. Let's leave this one. Ta-da! That was a success. And gonna put these extra Nintendo screws in here. That was worth the $6 because you never know. In case I ever have to open up another one. All right. right, let's put these 4 screws back here. I got the hiccups. Okay. Don't have to get them all tight in there. Trust me, they're not going to fall off. They're not going to fall out if they're not like super tight. Just get them in there because you don't want to strip these things. They're very easy to strip. Don't, you know, just as long as they're in there, they're pretty long, you'll know. There we go. Now, if I have an issue later on, let me show you one thing, guys. Okay, if you have an issue later on, which in case I know that if I have this problem of SD card reader, then I'm probably going to have to put a screw in there. There was a missing screw. That might keep things, you know, kind of from breaking again. I don't know for sure, but just in case, that's something to consider. Okay. Now I can slide this here. That there. And there you go. So we have successfully replaced the SD card reader, which only takes literally 5 minutes and very easy to do and good to go. So that was this shot. And just in case, let me do the same thing on the other camera. All right, well, there it is. We were successful in replacing the SD card reader on the Nintendo Switch, and it only took about 5 minutes. So hopefully you learned something, or at least you know that you only have to take the middle screws out on the side rails and the whole thing comes out, and that's all you need to do. You don't have to take out that middle plate. Leave that alone. Don't mess with that, and you save yourself all types of money. So I think it was $6 for the SD card reader and another $6 for the spare screws. I didn't even use the spare screws. So there you go. All right. Links will be down below. And if you like this video, smash the like button, share with your friends, subscribe. On the stream, we do a lot of game streams. We do a lot of game streams. So if you're into that, come and join, hang out with us. All right. Thank you guys. We'll see you later. Peace.